ESPN's Jake Trotter on Shedeur Sanders, and he was asked, chances he is the Browns franchise quarterback.
Jake, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a lock. How sure are you that Shedeur Sanders is the Browns franchise quarterback?
How about a 4? I need to see a lot more than one game, but I was intrigued by the first appearance. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, I would have said a 1.
Yeah.
I just, at no point watching Dylan Gabriel did you feel like, all right, this guy has the upside to be a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Shedeur has, I think, a little bit of the upside to maybe get there. I'm not predicting it. I'm not convinced, but I think he has a chance, which is more than I could have said for what we witnessed with Dylan Gabriel.
I think that's absolutely fair. I don't want to condemn Dylan Gabriel's career, but there's nothing there where you go, and there's a little bit there with Shedeur. Now there's also bad. So what's the next step in his progression?
The next step in his progression is to just go out and continue to play. Obviously, there's a lot of transitioning for Shedeur. And, one of the big things about, why was he not in on the goal line runs by Judkins? Just doesn't really have a lot of experience in that type of offensive system under center in the red zone. So, eliminate it. And, eventually, if he proves to be, extremely good, you won't take him off the field. But let's also keep in mind there was years for the New Orleans Saints where they were taking Drew Brees off the field to run some Wildcats. So coaches are going to do what they feel is best for their team. Things you want to see. You want to see the completion percentage go up. You want to see, obviously there was a mistake on an interception. Bad.
Yeah.
It was a really bad read on his part. But that is one that you grow from. Not everybody always thinks, oh, my God, I got to watch the defensive end dropping into coverage. Well, in the NFL, you kind of have to do that. So, this now week at home, this 49ers defense is certainly not what the 49ers defense was portrayed to be this year. A lot of good players are missing from that defense due to injury. But now he can also go out there and play with a little bit of confidence. He certainly, whatever confidence he had Sunday going into the Raider game, that was just natural confidence. But now he's got a birdie inside his head saying, hey, we can do this at this level. We can play at this level. And just continue. Everybody, we talk about the Bond throw. Everybody talks about the Judy throw. There was a throw where they were closer with their backs to the goal line. And he actually had to extend backwards a step or two in his drop to create the passing lane to Harold Fannin, which turned into a big game for Fannin. You're seeing, you saw growth. And the thing is, as he goes out there and plays with a little bit more confidence, that's where we hopefully get to see, even more growth come. Ideally, what we want to see is we want to see these wide receivers more involved. It has been the biggest void for this Cleveland Browns team the entire season. Everybody wants to get on some of these wide receivers, and I get it, but it is an extreme position of rhythm. It's just getting going and getting in there. The more balls that are thrown, the more routes that you run, the more balls that you catch. It's such a timing and rhythm thing. It's really hard for any wide receiver to get that going for the Cleveland Browns right now because you have played 3 quarterbacks. You played a big, strong, right-handed throwing quarterback who wasn't playing very well. Dylan Gabriel's a lefty, so everything was kind of, done differently. Most of the plays were done to the left side. Now you're back to a right-handed quarterback. There's been a lot that's gone on for, other positional groups as they try to find what is the best option at quarterback. But I think where you're sitting right now with 6 games to go, unless something, really extremely went wrong, I think the offense should look better and better as the weeks go on continuity's sake, and Shedeur Sanders just getting more comfortable and having more faith in himself and certainly more faith within his playmakers.
Yeah, as you were going through the Wildcat thing, the other thing I would say to those people is your offensive line has struggled, so you're getting another offensive lineman on there to run the football. It's common. It makes a lot of sense. We'll leave it at that.